Section 240.21 of the National Electrical Code addresses specific requirements for tap conductors and how they relate to overcurrent protection. This section essentially states that the provisions outlined in 240.4, which generally allows for overcurrent protection of tap conductors based on the conductors they supply, do not apply to taps made to feeders. The fundamental reason behind this is that feeder conductors are mandated to be protected at their rated ampacity, which is their current carrying capacity, while tap conductors have the allowance to be protected at a lower ampacity, specifically that of the conductors they supply. Let's consider a scenario to illustrate this concept. Imagine a 400 amp overcurrent device feeding 500 kcmil copper conductors, rated for 75 degrees Celsius. Now, a tap is made to these conductors, utilizing 4/0 aluminum conductors, also rated at 75 degrees Celsius. Assume the tap rules, which dictate the permissible length of the tap conductors, are adhered to. In this situation, it is permissible to protect the 500 kcmil copper conductors at 400 amps, provided the load is less than 380 amps. This allowance is based on 240.4. However, the 4/0 aluminum conductors would need to terminate in an overcurrent device rated at 175 amps. It is important to note that if these same 4/0 conductors were fed directly from a breaker without being a tap, they could be protected by a breaker rated at 200 amps again, with respect to the load. A crucial question then arises: are the 500 kcmil conductors considered a tap in this scenario? The answer is no. By definition, a tap is a conductor connected to a feeder. In our example, the 500 kcmil copper conductors are the feeder conductors themselves, and they are not branching off to supply a load. This leads to another important question: why isn't the same logic that permits the 500 kcmil conductors to be protected above the rated ampacity also allowed for the 4/0 conductors in the scenario? Considering that it would be permissible to protect the 4/0 conductors at 200 amps if they weren't classified as tap conductors. The restriction on protecting tap conductors at the same ampacity as the feeder conductors stems from several critical safety considerations. Firstly, we have short-circuit protection. If the tap conductors are protected at the same ampacity as the feeder conductors, there is a potential risk that the overcurrent device protecting the feeder conductors may not trip quickly enough to protect the tap conductors in the event of a short circuit. This delayed tripping could lead to overheating and potential damage to the tap conductors. Secondly, there is the risk of fire. If the tap conductors are overloaded beyond their rated ampacity, they could overheat, potentially igniting nearby combustible materials and causing a fire. Thirdly, voltage drop considerations come into play. If the tap conductors are oversized relative to the load they're serving, it can lead to excessive voltage drop. This voltage drop can negatively impact the performance of the equipment being supplied, causing it to operate inefficiently or even malfunction. In the scenario presented, it is crucial to recognize that the 4/0 aluminum tap conductors must be protected at an ampacity of 175 amps, even though the same conductors could be protected at 200 amps if they were not serving as a tap. This requirement arises because the provisions of 240.4 do not extend to tap conductors connected to feeders, as explicitly stated in 240.21. To delve deeper into the practical implications, let's consider the conductor ampacities as defined by the National Electrical Code, NEC Table 310.15b16. This table provides the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors rated up to and including 2000 volts, with temperature ratings corresponding to 60 degrees Celsius, 75 degrees Celsius, and 90 degrees Celsius. In our scenario, we have 500 kcmil copper conductors and 4/0 aluminum conductors, both rated at 75 degrees Celsius. According to NEC Table 310.15b16, a 500 kcmil copper conductor with a 75 degrees Celsius rating has an ampacity of 380 amps. A 4/0 aluminum conductor with a 75 degrees Celsius rating has an ampacity of 180 amps. It is important to note that these opacities are based on specific conditions, including the number of conductors in a raceway or cable, the ambient temperature, and the type of termination equipment used. Adjustments and corrections to these opacities may be necessary based on the specific installation conditions, as outlined in NEC section 310.15. For the 500 kcmil copper conductors, even though their opacity is 380 amps, they are protected by a 400 amp overcurrent device. This is permissible under 240.4, which allows the next higher standard overcurrent device rating to be used if the conductor opacity does not correspond to a standard overcurrent device rating, provided certain conditions are met, such as the load being less than the conductor opacity. However, this allowance does not extend to tap conductors. The 4/0 aluminum conductors with an opacity of 180 amps are required to be protected at 175 amps because they are tap conductors. Even though they could theoretically be protected at 200 amps if they were not a tap, 240.21 restricts their overcurrent protection to the opacity of the tap conductors, not exceeding 180 amps, and utilizing the next lower standard overcurrent device rating. To further clarify the reasoning behind the tap rules, let's consider the potential consequences of not adhering to these regulations. Imagine a scenario where the 4/0 aluminum tap conductors are protected by a 200 amp overcurrent device exceeding their opacity of 180 amps. If a fault or overload occurs on the tap conductors, the 200 amp overcurrent device may not trip quickly enough to protect the conductors. This could lead to overheating, insulation damage, and potentially a fire. The tap rules are designed to mitigate these risks by ensuring that the tap conductors are protected by an overcurrent device that is appropriately sized for their opacity and the load they are serving. The length of the tap conductor also plays a critical role in the application of the tap rules. The NEC specifies maximum lengths for tap conductors based on their opacity and the opacity of the feeder conductors they are tapped from. These length limitations are intended to minimize the risk of voltage drop and to ensure that the tap conductors are adequately protected against overcurrent conditions. For example, NEC section 240.21b2 outlines the requirements for tap conductors not over 10 feet long. These tap conductors must have an opacity of not less than 1/3 of the rating of the overcurrent device protecting the feeder conductors. They must terminate in a single overcurrent device that will protect the tap conductors at their opacity. The tap conductors must be enclosed in a raceway or be installed in a manner that protects them from physical damage. NEC section 240.21b3 provides the requirements for tap conductors not over 25 feet long. These tap conductors must have an opacity of not less than 1/3 of the rating of the overcurrent device protecting the feeder conductors. They must terminate in a single overcurrent device that will protect the tap conductors at their opacity. Tap conductors must be protected from physical damage by being enclosed in a raceway or by other approved means. In addition to the length and opacity requirements, the NEC also specifies the types of overcurrent devices that can be used to protect tap conductors. Generally, tap conductors must be protected by circuit breakers or fuses. The overcurrent device must be readily accessible and must be properly sized for the opacity of the tap conductors and the load they are serving. It is important to consult the specific requirements of the NEC for the type of overcurrent device allowed in a particular installation. The location of the overcurrent device protecting the tap conductors is also important. The overcurrent device must be located at the point where the tap conductors receive their supply. This ensures that the tap conductors are protected from overcurrent conditions along their entire length. In some cases, it may be necessary to install multiple overcurrent devices to protect tap conductors, especially if the tap conductors are long or if they supply multiple loads. Furthermore, the NEC addresses the use of tap conductors in specific applications, such as motor circuits and lighting circuits. These applications may have additional requirements for tap conductor protection. For example, NEC section 430 provides specific requirements for the protection of motor circuit conductors, including tap conductors. These requirements are designed to ensure that the motor circuit conductors are adequately protected against overcurrent conditions and short circuits. Similarly, NEC Section 210 addresses the requirements for branch circuits, including tap conductors used in lighting circuits. These requirements are intended to ensure that the lighting circuits are protected against overcurrent conditions and that the lighting fixtures are properly grounded. In summary, the tap rules outlined in NEC Section 240.21 are designed to protect tap conductors from overcurrent conditions and short circuits. These rules specify the maximum length of tap conductors, the minimum ampacity of tap conductors, and the type and location of overcurrent devices used to protect tap conductors. Adhering to these rules is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. Neglecting these rules can lead to overheating, insulation damage, fire hazards, and equipment malfunction. Therefore, it is crucial for electrical professionals and anyone working with electrical systems to have a thorough understanding of the tap rules and to apply them correctly in all installations. The interpretation and application of the NEC can sometimes be complex, and it is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer if there are any questions or uncertainties. Moreover, staying up to date with the latest editions of the NEC is essential, as the code is revised and updated regularly to reflect advancements in technology and changes in safety standards. Continuing education and professional development are crucial for electrical professionals to maintain their knowledge and skills and to ensure that they are providing safe and compliant electrical installations. In addition to the technical aspects of the tap rules, it is also important to consider the practical implications of these rules in real-world installations. For example, when designing an electrical system, it is important to carefully consider the location of tap conductors and the loads they will be serving. The length of the tap conductors should be minimized to reduce the risk of voltage drop and to ensure that the tap conductors are adequately protected against overcurrent conditions. The ampacity of the tap conductors should be carefully calculated to ensure that they are capable of carrying the intended load without overheating. The overcurrent devices used to protect the tap conductors should be properly sized and located to provide adequate protection against overcurrent conditions and short circuits. Furthermore, it is important to consider the environmental conditions in which the tap conductors will be installed. If the tap conductors will be exposed to high temperatures or corrosive substances, it may be necessary to use special types of conductors or raceways to protect them from damage. The NEC provides guidance on the selection of conductors and raceways for various environmental conditions. Finally, it is important to document all aspects of the electrical installation, including the location of tap conductors, the size and type of conductors used, the ampacity of the conductors, and the rating and location of overcurrent devices. This documentation can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting of the electrical system. It is also important to keep the documentation up to date to reflect any changes or modifications made to the electrical system. In conclusion, understanding and applying the tap rules outlined in NEC Section 240.21 is crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. These rules are designed to protect tap conductors from overcurrent conditions and short circuits and to minimize the risk of fire hazards and equipment malfunction. By carefully considering the technical and practical aspects of the tap rules, electrical professionals can ensure that they are providing safe and compliant electrical installations that meet the needs of their customers. Remember that electrical codes and regulations are subject to change, and it is essential to stay informed about the latest requirements to ensure compliance and safety. Always consult the most recent edition of the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes for specific guidance on tap conductor protection and other electrical installation requirements. If you have any questions or uncertainties, seek advice from a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. By following these guidelines, you can contribute to a safer and more reliable electrical environment.